Hey there, YouTube. It's the Free Thinking Agnostic here. Found a video for us to look at together, so hopefully you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Haley. So I've decided I'm just gonna do a nice chill video.
That's perfect. I think we all like nice, chill videos. That was classy.
Until a couple months ago.
You didn't know watermelon juice existed? I mean, this is totally besides the point of either of our videos, I'm sure, but seriously, where have you been living?
But it's so good. Go and get some.
Sounds good. I'm sure it's delicious. Now can we get on with the fucking video, please?
As you can tell from the title of this video, being a feminist is awesome.
As I can tell from the title of your video, you think being a feminist is awesome.
And I'm going to tell you some reasons why, okay?
Oh boy, I can't wait.
People think of you as a role model. So I might get hate for this one, but I know people consider me a role model.
So a good reason to be a feminist is for social status? That sounds like a good ideology to me.
I think that's also because of the way I dress, because I do dress a bit differently than everyone else.
Well, it appears to me that you're wearing pretty normal clothes compared to everyone else. I mean, you're not like, wearing a paper bag.
But overall, I do think that being a feminist does make it seem like you are very in control of what's happening in your life.
So again, with the being a feminist is for other people's perceptions of you, it seems kind of a very self-centered reason to be a part of a movement about equality.
You get more in touch with yourself. Ever since I started acting this way, I have realized things that I like more about myself than others. It does help. I know I'm freaking amazing.
While I'm very glad that you feel so confident in yourself, I don't see why you need feminism to come to that conclusion. You're a real person. You have, a life that you live. I don't see why it's feminism that has made you feel like you're a real individual.
It's just about accepting yourself and being the person you want to be.
Learning to accept yourself and be the person you want to be. I think that has more to do with being a person of substance than it does being a person involved in feminism. There's lots of people who think that they're pretty awesome, and most of them probably are, but they're not all feminists by any means.
I'm not saying everyone should be a feminist. I'm not one of those people that are, crazy.
You might not be like that, and I'm glad that you're not. The vast majority of feminists do seem to be that way, where if you're not with them, then you're against them, and that's kind of crazy.
If you're not a feminist, you're a woman hater. No, I'm not like that. I just think, for people who don't know what a feminist really is, it's just equality between all genders.
Feminism might have started as equality between the genders, however, it has exploded into something that is not that anymore.
When boys or men get upset about us being men haters, that's not what it is. We just want equality. How is that hating on anyone?
It's not hate to want equality. It's not. That's a very noble purpose to have. It has exploded into something much, much more than equality. It's not about equality anymore. I can't think of a single thing that a man can do that a woman cannot do on a social or economic level, based simply upon their genders. Not a single thing comes to mind.
You become aware of your surroundings.
So you had to become a feminist to become aware of your surroundings? It seems kind of infantile to not be aware of your surroundings. Everyone should be aware of their surroundings. There are bad people out in this world. You go to cross the street, and if you're not aware of your surroundings, you very well could step out in front of a car. It's common sense to be aware of your surroundings. It has nothing to do with feminism.
Before I became a feminist, I was very,
absent-minded? Inarticulate?
After I started, researching feminism and everything, I realized that, there are signs you can find when people are staring at you.
Okay, so you had to research feminism to be able to figure out that there are signs that people are staring at you? The sign that I usually go for is their eyeballs being directed in my general direction. Not even generally, more specifically, at me is a sign that they're staring at me.
You definitely become aware of your surroundings, and it's a really good thing.
I'm very glad that you were able to start being more aware of your surroundings. That's a very good thing. It's very good to be aware of your surroundings at all time.
If you're walking home alone at night, like anything could happen, it's a good thing to know what's going on around you.
I agree. If you're walking home alone at night, anything could happen, and you should be more aware of your surroundings. It's kind of a dangerous world that we live in. There are crazy people out there that do some pretty crazy and heinous things.
You aren't afraid to tell it how it is.
Not afraid to tell it how it is. Again, why is it that you need feminism to grow a backbone? The two are not synonymous with each other.
You get your own opinion on a lot of things.
How in the hell can you say that you get your own opinion on a lot of things when subscribing to an ideology that force feeds you its opinions? I mean, it seems silly.
If someone, offends that opinion or says that it's wrong, you are not afraid to tell them it's not. It's definitely right.
Again, you don't need feminism to learn how to stand up for your opinions. But when someone says your opinions are wrong, you don't just get to be like, well, no, my opinions are right. You need to have a well-articulated argument against that.
For those of you who said on my Ask a Femme that there's no wage gap, are you dumb? Yes, there is.
That seems like a very well argument against the whole wage gap thing. Nuh-uh, is two. It's been debunked so many times. There is not a wage gap between the genders. It's beating a dead horse. I'll leave a link in the description below about the wage gap and why it's bullshit.
You learn about different people's opinions.
When I see the general feminist population doing their thing, they don't learn about other people's opinions. They shut other people's opinions down. They don't listen to the opposing side of the argument because it doesn't agree with them. And, I get it. Nobody likes to be disagreed with. I don't enjoy being disagreed with. However, the reality of the situation is not everybody agrees with me, and I will never be able to change my opinion on something that I am clearly wrong on if I don't at least listen and acknowledge the other person's argument and dissect it, rip it apart piece by piece and examine it, and I can decide, well, their argument is valid, or mine is still valid, or both of these are just opinions on something that is subjective, and neither of them are valid or invalid.
Again, I'm not saying that if you aren't a feminist, you're not, a good person or whatever. I'm just saying that everyone should believe in equality between men and women.
What is this, the 1940s? Pretty much everybody in the modernized countries agree that men and women not only should be equal, but are equal. Only certain people seem to think that women are still being held down. And I hate to break it to you, they're not.
I don't care if you don't constantly care about the difference between men and women. I do, but I don't care if you don't.
I do constantly care about the differences between men and women, because there are quite a few differences between men and women. Most all of them are physical and the way that they think. It's not saying that the way women think is incorrect or the way men think are incorrect. It's just we start the process differently. We get from point A to point B a very different way. It's just the way that, the difference between the men and women think. It's not every one of us. Some men think more like women and some women think more like men, and it's not good or bad. It's just what it is.
I just believe that everyone should think that men and women should have the same rights. How do they not?
We've been over this. Virtually no one in a westernized society believes that men should have the advantage over women or that women should have the advantage over men. Unless you're looking directly at the feminist group, they seem to think that women should have the advantage over men.
But there still are certain things that we don't, like the fact that there aren't big professional sports teams that involve women.
There are big professional sports teams that are made up entirely of women. They have their own leagues, their own division, because, generally it's not fair to have men playing a game against women. As far as a physical game goes, because, not being sexist, but men generally are stronger than women. So it's not fair to have women arm wrestling men as a sport because, I mean, not to say that there aren't women out there who could beat most of the guys out there, because there certainly are. And there are guys out there who will lose to most women out there. Again, these people exist. But in the general, men are significantly stronger than women. Sorry to, sound sexist. That's just reality.
You don't see those on the TV all the time.
Most people, I don't believe, enjoy watching the women's sports as much as the men's. And I don't necessarily understand why. I'm not big into sports either way. But if you look at the FIFA website, just to use soccer for an example, the men's FIFA World Cup got like 3.2 billion views, whereas the FIFA World Cup women's division got like 750 million views. 750 million for the women's and 3.2 billion for the men's. That's a drastic difference in how many people have viewed it. Maybe that's part of the reason why you don't have as many women's divisions and women's teams, is because people just don't enjoy watching it as much, obviously.
Yeah, so if you come across someone who is a meninist, stupidest word ever.
I agree with you. Meninist is a pretty stupid word. It is a satire, though. It's meant just to poke fun at feminists. That's it.
You can listen to their opinion and you can tell them what you believe in. They'll tell you what they believe in. And you can't really get mad at them for that. But, at least then you're learning about how different people think.
That I agree with. I completely agree. Listening to other people's opinions is a great way to learn how they think. And maybe to challenge your own beliefs or to challenge theirs. But ultimately, both of you need to go into it with an open mind about trying to be intellectually honest and actually learn something.
You feel like you can make your own opinions. This goes for anything that you believe in. If you're Christian, Catholic, feminist, meninist, feminism, makes you realize that you have your own voice and you can say your opinion whenever you need to.
Why does it take feminism for you to realize that you have your own voice and that you can state your own opinions? It just seems silly to me. Are you so weak-willed that you had to latch onto a group in order to be able to feel like you're free?
I think it's really interesting how far humans have come. Not even just with that, just with equality in general. Being gay, for example, that wasn't accepted 30 years ago, really. But now it's so normal and it's awesome.
We have come a long way over the past 150 years or so of equality between gender and identity and sexuality and all that. And it's amazing. It's great. I'm glad that we've come so far so quickly.
So I think everyone should just love each other no matter what.
I agree. We all should just love each other no matter what. You should tell a lot of that to your feminist pals.
Whoever you love or or whatever you believe in, all those, whatever you wear, those things don't define you. Your likes and interests define you. You as a person is what defines you.
No, I agree. Those things don't define you. They don't have to define you, but a lot of people choose to define themselves with those things, or somehow only learn to define themselves underneath those things, and I don't think that's good. I don't think any ideology should be used to define oneself. I think an individual should define themselves, and then if they so feel, find an ideology to latch onto, maybe, that supports that. But even then, an ideology is easy to get misled with because it's a system of ideas and rules and all of this imposed upon you, and it's going to make you conform to some degree with the ideology.
Anything that you love and believe in, if you're gay, straight, bisexual, trans, queer, it's whatever, those are your things. That's who you are, and that's great.
And nobody's arguing against that. It doesn't matter what kind of sexual orientation you have, or even if you don't have a sexual orientation. If you're one of those asexual people who just don't feel the need to engage in any kind of sexual activities, then more power to you. Live your life however you see fit.
If you're feminist like me, that's who I am. I'm more than that, though, just like anyone else who believes in anything or is anything is more than that.
It almost seems a little contradictory to say that you identify yourself as a feminist, but you are more than just that. And I do agree with you. You are more than just that. Everyone is more than just the system of ideology that they choose to ascribe to, but when you ascribe to an ideology, you do kind of lump yourself in with a group of crazies. There's always crazies in every ideology. No ideology is inherently bad. For the most part, there's a few out there that are, but we'll tackle that on a different day.
Your favorite color, that's something that you are. Like, it's a little piece, but there's so many things that build you up and make you yourself.
So equating like a feminist activist to just somebody's favorite color, I mean, I get what you're saying with this, but it really is not comparable.
Alright guys, that is it for this video.
Thank God that it's over. I really don't have anything negative to say about this girl. She seems like she's a very nice person and really wants equality, just has been blinded by this feminist guise that is telling them that they're being held down, that there is this wage gap, that they're, all this stuff, that they're being held down in society, when really they're not. And it just kind of saddens me to know that there are people out there who are buying into this stuff so heavily as to need to make videos talking about a problem that's not really there. Okay, YouTube, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you had a good flight. Until next time.